Hello, my name is Pastor Kathy Kollar. I'm the pastor of Pleasant Valley Lutheran Church near Malabar Farm and St. Paul Lutheran Church in Lucas. Greetings. We are reading through the Bible with commentary. We are in the book of Numbers, the fourth book of the Bible. Yesterday we were reading about how some of the Levites were like, how come you guys get to be the priests and all the special ones? And they had kind of a showdown and kind of a revolt. And Aaron's staff they took the staffs from all the leaders, and Aaron's was planted and turned into a budded tree with flowers and almonds and just became an entire tree. It said, yes, God has picked Aaron. But we're still going to hear about the priests today and what they are responsible for. So the priests are the sons of Aaron, but the Levites have all the responsibility around the temple, although at this point it's the tabernacle, this tent of meeting, tent of the covenant, this place where they can go meet God as they're traveling through the desert. Chapter 18, the Lord said to Aaron, you and your sons and your ancestral house with you shall bear responsibility for offenses connected with the sanctuary, while you and your sons alone shall bear responsibility for offenses connected with the priesthood. So, in other words, the ancestral house, Levi, is anything to do with the sanctuary, but Aaron specifically is to do with priesthood. So bring with you also your brothers of the tribe of Levi, your ancestral tribe, in order that they may be joined to you and serve while you and your sons are in front of the tent of the covenant. They shall perform duties for you and for the whole tent, but they must not approach either the utensils of the sanctuary or the altar, otherwise both they and you will die. They are attached to you in order to perform the duties of the tent of meeting for all the service of the tent. No outsider shall approach you. You yourselves shall perform the duties of the sanctuary and the duties of the altar, so that wrath may never again come upon the Israelites. It is I who now take your brother Levites from among the Israelites. They are now yours as a gift, dedicated to the Lord, to perform the service of the tent of meeting. But you and your sons with you shall diligently perform your priestly duties in all that concerns the altar and the area behind the curtain. I give your priesthood as a gift. Any outsider who approaches shall be put to death. So God is saying to Aaron, his sons are the priests, but all these Levites are there to serve the priests and serve the temple and serve the tabernacle. And I can see why they're like, well, we Levites why are we don't get to be priests, but they do get to be separate from the rest of Israel, doing duties for the Lord. Verse 8, the Lord spoke to Aaron, I have given you charge of the offerings made to me, all the holy gifts of the Israelites. I have given them to you and your sons as a priestly portion due to you in perpetuity. This shall be yours from the most holy things, reserved from the fire. Every offering of theirs that they render to me as a most holy thing, whether grain offering, sin offering, or guilt offering, shall belong to you and your sons. As a most holy thing you shall eat it. Every male may eat it. It shall be holy to you. This also is yours. I have given to you, together with your sons and daughters, as a perpetual due, whatever is set aside from the gifts of all the elevation offerings of the Israelites. Everyone who is clean in your house may eat them. All the best of the oil and all the best of the wine and of the grain and the choice produce that they give to the Lord, I have given to you. The first fruits of all that is in their land, which they bring to the Lord, shall be yours. Everyone who is clean in your house may eat of it. Every devoted thing in Israel shall be yours. The first issue of the womb of all creatures, human and animal, which is offered to the Lord, shall be yours. But the firstborn of human beings you shall redeem, and the firstborn of unclean animals you shall redeem. So God is saying to the priests, and to Aaron specifically, everything that people give and come and give to God, you're the one that gets it. You get to keep it. And if it's the firstborn, you get to have that animal, but if it's firstborn human, they have to pay the difference. They're not going to keep the humans or eat the unclean animals. Their redemption price, reckoned from 1 month of age, you shall fix at 5 shekels of silver, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, that is 20 gerahs. But the firstborn of a cow, or the firstborn of a sheep, or the firstborn of a goat, you shall not redeem. They are holy. You shall dash their blood on the altar, and you shall turn their fat into smoke, as an offering by fire, as for a pleasing odor to the Lord. But their flesh shall be yours, just as the breast that is elevated, and as the right thigh are yours. All the holy offerings that the Israelites present to the Lord I have given to you, together with your sons and daughters, as a perpetual due. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Lord for you, and for your descendants as well. Then the Lord said to Aaron, you shall have no allotment in their land, nor shall you have any share among them. I am your share and your possession among the Israelites. So whenever Israelites bring an offering, the stuff that goes to God that is not burned up, the way that it goes to God is to give it to Aaron and his sons and his daughters. They can eat it. When they get to the promised land, there will not be land for the priests. They will not inherit any land at all. Verse 21, to the Levites I have given every tithe in Israel for a possession in return for the service that they perform, the service in the tent of meeting. From now on the Israelites shall no longer approach the tent of meeting, or else they will incur guilt and die. But the Levites shall perform the service of the tent of meeting, and they shall bear responsibility for their own offenses. It shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations. But among the Israelites they shall have no allotment, because I have given to the Levites as their portion the tithe of the Israelites, which they set apart as an offering to the Lord. Therefore I have said of them that they shall have no allotment among the Israelites. So in the same way as Aaron and his sons, the priests, the Levites, when they get to the promised land, will not have land assigned to them. They will not have an allotment. They will not own property. Instead, the Israelites are all expected to pay a tithe, which means a 10%. And when they pay the 10% to the temple or to the tabernacle, where it goes is to support the Levites, who do all of the work of maintaining the tabernacle and later the temple. The priests are busy doing duties. When an animal comes and gets slaughtered, the Levites are going to help herd the animals into the right place and deal with pots and pans and fires and wood and supplying all the supplies that are needed to do all of the duties. Verse 25, then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, you shall speak to the Levites, saying, when you receive from the Israelites the tithe that I have given you from them for your portion, you shall set apart an offering from it to the Lord, a tithe of the tithe. It shall be reckoned to you as your gift, the same as the grain of the threshing floor and the fullness of the winepress. Thus you shall also set apart an offering to the Lord from all the tithes that you receive from the Israelites, and from them you shall give the Lord's offering to the priest Aaron. Out of the gifts to you, you shall set apart every offering due to the Lord. The best of all of them is the part to be consecrated. Say also to them, when you have set apart the best of it, then the rest shall be reckoned to the Levites as produce of the threshing floor and as produce of the winepress. You may eat it in any place, you and your households, for it is your payment for your service in the tent of meeting. You shall incur no guilt by reason of it, when you have offered the best of it, but you shall not profane the holy gifts of the Israelites on pain of death. So when the Israelites give their 10%, their tithe, that money goes to the Levites. The Levites are to also give 10%. They're supposed to tithe on the tithe. They give 10% of what they receive, and it goes to Aaron. Which I've had people say, well, do pastors tithe? And I personally think, yes, pastors should give just as much as anybody else does. And the fact that tithes pay part of my salary does not preclude me from needing to give of my salary as well. So yes, tithe on a tithe, it's right here in the Bible that we are to give 10%. The Israelites were to give 10%, which went to the Levites, and the Levites were to give 10% as well. Chapter 19. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron. This is a statute of the law that the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you a red heifer, which is a young female cow that either hasn't had a calf or only one calf, without defect. in which there is no blemish and on which no yoke has been laid, so one red young cow. You shall give it to the priest Eleazar, and it shall be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. The priest Eleazar shall take some of its blood with his finger and sprinkle it 7 times toward the front of the tent of meeting. Then the heifer shall be burned in his sight. Its skin, its flesh, and its blood with its dung shall be burned. The priest shall take cedar wood, hyssop, and crimson material, and throw them into the fire in which the heifer is burning. Then the priest shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and afterward he may come into the camp. But the priest shall remain unclean until evening. The one who burns the heifer shall wash his clothes in water and bathe his body in water, and he shall remain unclean until evening. Then someone who is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and deposit them outside the camp in a clean place, and they shall be kept for the congregation of the Israelites for the water of cleansing. It is a purification offering. The one who gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. This shall be a perpetual statute for the Israelites and for an alien residing among them. Those who touch the dead body of any human being shall be unclean 7 days. They shall purify themselves with the water on the 3rd day and the 7th day, and so be clean. But if they do not purify themselves on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, they will not become clean. All who touch a corpse, the body of a human being who has died, and who do not purify themselves, defile the tabernacle of the Lord. Such persons shall be cut off from Israel. Since water for cleansing was not dashed on them, they remain unclean. Their uncleanness is still on them. And I want to go back. So we're taking a red cow and we're burning it up. And when they burn it up, they're adding cedar wood, hyssop, and crimson material. So red material that represents, and according to the footnote, it represents blood. And hyssop is a minty kind of plant. It's a plant in the mint family that's aromatic and has a strong minty, skunky kind of smell. And they're like, oh yes, here's this ritual that they do for purification to make people clean. How do you make soap? You take ashes, you drip water through the ashes, and then you have lye, and you mix the lye with fat. So this is not exactly a recipe for soap, but it kind of is, because they take the entire cow and create it with ashes with the wood and some aromatic minty stuff and blend it all together, and then they have the water of purification. So it's kind of a very mild soap, actually, that they are creating with this water of purification. And then if you touch a corpse, you're expected to use the water of purification on the 3rd day and the 7th day. Verse 14, this is the law when someone dies in a tent. Everyone who comes into the tent and everyone who is in the tent shall be unclean 7 days, and every open vessel with no cover fastened on it is unclean. Whoever in the open field touches the one who has been killed by a sword, or who has died naturally, or a human bone, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. For the unclean they shall take some ashes of the burnt purification offering, and running water shall be added in a vessel. Then a clean person shall take hyssop, dip it in the water, and sprinkle it on the tent, and all the furnishings, and on the persons who were there, and on whoever touched the bone, the slain, the corpse, or the grave. The clean person shall sprinkle the unclean ones on the 3rd day and the 7th day, thus purifying them on the 7th day. Then they shall wash their clothes and bathe themselves in water, and in the evening they shall be clean. Any who are unclean but do not purify themselves, those persons shall be cut off from the assembly, for they have defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. Since the water for cleansing has not been dashed on them, they are unclean. It shall be a perpetual statute for them. The one who sprinkles the water for cleansing shall wash his clothes, and whoever touches the water for cleansing shall be unclean until evening. Whatever the unclean person touches shall be unclean, and anyone who touches it shall be unclean until evening. So Again, none of the footnotes here say anything about this being a recipe for soap, but it's kind of a recipe for kind of like a soap. It's if you drip water through ashes, you take wood, like a hard wood, and this says cedar wood, and get ashes from wood and then drip water through the ashes. What comes out the bottom is lye, which is caustic and will burn your skin. But then you take the lye and you mix it with fat and other materials. And I do not know the recipe for soap. Perhaps I should, off the top of my head. But they're taking this water, that's water of purification, so it's water that has lye in it, and they're using a hyssop plant, which is like it's an herb that has a flower and potentially smells good, or at least it has a smell, and you dip it in the water of purification and then put it on the people. So it's basically a very mild form of soap. And so if you touch a corpse and you are unclean, then the third day and the seventh day you wash with soap. And then all the rest of the time you wash with water. So when we talk about cleanliness in the Old Testament, there's cleanliness in the terms of being right before God and having your sins cleaned and washed away. But there also was this physical desire to be clean and to have a bath called a mikvah, and to wash your hands before meals, and to wash after touching a corpse, and if somebody had some kind of weird contagious disease, to set them outside of the camp so that there was quarantine, basically, so that they don't contaminate. You've got a lot of people traveling together. It's good to have the people that are contagious to be separated out and help. Generally, public health is a thing. So, but none of the footnotes say anything about this being soap, but water through ashes, that equals lye. Lye plus fat and other ingredients, that equals soap. So this is a recipe for soap that they were expected to use. And now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord look at you with favor and give you peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Go in peace. Serve the Lord. Thanks be to God. We're so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for watching all the way to this point. Like, subscribe, comment, or don't. We're glad you're here. Those things help my channel a lot, but we're also just glad to have you with us. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a fabulous day today.